Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another chapter of Comments from the Peanut Gallery in our ongoing saga of the Galilee gathering. And I finished my morning cow chores. Yeah. We have one cow that's in the maternity ward, and I had to get another bale of alfalfa out. We feed them extra special stuff when they're in the maternity ward, especially in winter. It wasn't me that messed that up, it was the bull. I should have kept them separate, so. Oh, this is the wrong time to have a calf, but she's having a calf anyhow. Soon. The Galilee gathering. And why? I won't say just me. Why have I pounded the table so hard about the 11 not going to the Galilee gathering? Pounding the table over it. Why? Or why is it important? Or why was it a setup that Jesus set it up? I kind of wonder sometimes, and this is a wonder. I wonder when he brought the prophecy up in front of him that said, I will smite the shepherd and the sheep of the flock will be scattered abroad. Okay, and maybe the 11 didn't like being called sheep. Sheep are the dumbest thing on the planet. We had sheep for a while. They taste good, but oh boy. And maybe they didn't like being called sheep. Maybe they didn't like that they were being identified as that they would run and scatter like, fly away like quail. Boom! Here comes danger, and poof! They're gone. To be equated with something so fearful as quail, or as dumb as sheep, or they scattered. If you had sheep scatter. Man, oh man. It's and dumb? Oh boy. Anyhow, whatever reason, but Jesus set that prophecy right in front of them. So I go, is the whole thing and a setup getting them to run and hide? I'm not sure. I know he had to protect them. I know that, Rome would have been happy to, kill just that little handful of disciples. If it was only 12, they would have been happy to kill them all just to eradicate any uprising from their Jerusalem district, the Israeli district. Herod would have been happy to kill him. Herod killed all the babies trying to get the one he missed. What's a dozen guys? They would have been happy to kill him. The Pharisees and the Sadducees and the priests at the temple would have been happy to kill him. They plotted to kill Lazarus. They killed Jesus. They kept, like go figure. But Jesus had to get the 11 through and to present the gospel to the entire world. But I think the primary thing that when he was dealing with them, and anywhere he encountered it, he absolutely detested the elite syndrome. Okay? I don't like it. The only ones that seem to like the elite syndrome is those that are in a position with maybe millions and billions of dollars or some fancy label where they have the ability to put their thumb on somebody else's head. They seem to like it, but I know I don't. I don't think you like it. 87,000 IRS agents as an addition, that's what they're trying to put in motion in this here United States. 87,000? Really? Is that the number? IRS agents. When the Tendonizer business was still in place, we were audited once. Camera girl and I talked about it, and I said, we are going to make sure we've done everything correct, and we're going to make sure that this audit costs him much more than they get from us in return. So we went through she did really, camera girl did, went through meticulously. And after everything was said and done, after all of her paperwork, all of her diligence, all of her records going back years, we ended up $600 that we owed for buying stuff. How was it? Buying stuff out of state, bringing it here, and then not paying the sales tax on something. Anyhow, it was something like that. We ended up being like $400 or $600 that we owed. But the elite syndrome, Jesus hated it. When James and John, the mom of James and John brought her sons to Jesus going, I want one to sit on the right hand and one on the left as you come into your kingdom. He said very explicitly, that is not my kingdom. That's another guy's kingdom, not mine. What you ask, it's not a thing that this elite syndrome, not in my kingdom, no way. So I think part of what was going on was to put at bay this thing for as long as possible. People are people. People that follow the devil, they pick up their father's character. They have their father's characteristics. And the Ephraim syndrome that's so prevalent among them, and there's lots of ways and lots of different names that it's been called over the years. We got lots of names I could call it right now, but I have to bleep them out. Blankety blank, 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 blank. That's what I think of. The elite syndrome, or the caste system, or the pecking order, or the fivefold ministry club, or the... like what Paul describes later, he describes that there is neither young nor old, slave or free, male or female, all one in Christ Jesus. And you could have added just as readily, just as easily today, going, there is no clergy laity. It's like every generation, they keep trying to bring this elite syndrome, that's kind of the name of that's stuck to it now that people understand. But to keep that out, because that is so completely wicked. Like one of the dumbest things I have ever heard come out of a preacher's mouth was, I'm involved in a thing that we call ministry. But what you're involved in is secular. What? You got your brain on straight, mister? Maybe you checked it out, left it at the door like a hat and coat and put it on the shelf before you came in here. But to say that, Jesus said, whatever you do in word or deed, do it all in my name. Do it all in the name of the Lord. And if we can't do it in his name, we shouldn't ought to do it. But his kingdom, he said, it's written, prophesied that he, Almighty God, would meet all of our need according to his riches and glory. To do the stuff I do, I need, I need steel, I need wood, I need trees, I need food, I need a house, I need clothes, I need lots of stuff that I need. One thing I don't need is somebody pointing, going, what I'm involved in is a thing that we call ministry. What you're involved in is secular. That's one thing I know that I don't need. I am interested in those who can expound on the inheritance that I got from Almighty God through the new birth, or the inheritance that you got from Almighty God through the new birth. His DNA in you, the perfecting of the saints. You, if you're born of God, the perfecting of the saints for the work of the ministry that covers all of life and all of godliness. The ministry of Jesus on this earth is absolutely huge. Covers all of life, all of godliness, making good cars. There's energy systems that haven't been tapped yet. They might have been found, but they haven't been tapped. making use of. Whatever engines God's got on his house. He's got 12 of them. It says 12 foundations. The foundation's something to hold it up. His heaven castle ship. He says he's got 12 foundations. I'm quite sure the way he talks about it, it's 12 engines. All of the verbiage about his house is as a person would talk about a ship. A ship. The captain. Jesus is the captain of that ship, that spaceship, that heaven castle ship. The thing that Lucifer, when he was entrenched in the elite syndrome, wanted to take over and make God his slave. And God says, that's never going to happen again. We're going to go through this thing. And I want people to be good too forever, yes. But I'm going to run them through a filter before they ever get to my house. They're not coming into my house with this elite syndrome. It ain't going to happen. So, here we are. So maybe with the 12 or the 11 that he worked at, going, I know where Peter's button is, and I'm going to push it. Tunk. And then Peter just blattered. No way, Lord, that'll never happen. You're never going to the cross. You're not going to die there, and we definitely aren't going to scatter like sheep. Not a chance. Going. Peter was pointing his finger right in God's face, saying that prophecy is never going to happen. Well, there's like 365 prophecies about Jesus walking on this earth. And Peter looked at one and said, no way, Lord, that's never going to happen. And what happened? Jesus looked at Peter and said, this day, the rooster is not going to crow until you have denied me 3 times, Peter. And then Peter expounded more extensively on no way, Lord. And also it says that the 11, the rest, or the 10, I don't know if Judas was there or not. I don't think so. But they chimed in with Peter, and they all collectively said, no way, Lord, that's not going to happen. That prophecy is not going to be fulfilled. I know, I'm flapping my arm around. Woohoo! Think I could fly or something. But he said, no way, that ain't going to happen. Well, personally, this is my opinion. I think a lot of it was protecting them, yes, but it was also protecting us from the elite syndrome. It would have been really easy for the disciples of Jesus to set up headquarters in Jerusalem and rule the religious world from Jerusalem. It would have been, and their descendants after them. It would have been really easy to do that. But as you go forward and look at the rest of the New Testament, even, the 11, 12, they still stayed in Jerusalem. And for most of what's written about the New Covenant, Jesus had to go and get Paul, okay? Saul Paul, okay. And he's the one that wrote a lot of the letters that we look at, Romans and Corinthians and Ephesians, and the letter to Philemon and Timothy and all of this stuff that he wrote. And he looked at his academic background, and he went through his lineage and heritage and all of this stuff, and he said, I count it but dung. I know what that looks like, because the cows leave it behind. The cow that's in the maternity ward right now, she's been locked in a rather small stall for a pregnant cow is concerned, and the dung in there is getting rather deep. And Paul said, I count all of that stuff, all of that pyramid scheme, pecking order, all of the elite syndrome, I count it but dung. So, it ain't nothing but a pile of shit. So, I think in a lot of ways, Jesus was doing his very best. His very best is quite excellent. His very best to protect us. If we would only look at what he did and what it means, if we would not support the elite syndrome, if we wouldn't pick it up for ourselves and say, oh, this is great, I'm part of the fivefold ministry. No, I refuse to have any connection with that philandering of men, that that elite, the elite syndrome. No way. I look at it like Paul did. I choose to, but it has to be a choice of the heart. I look at that whole philosophy, the whole thought of the mind and the actions of the hand that follow with that ungodly philosophy, going, no way, I ain't going to touch it. It's wicked and it's corrupt. But what God did is awesome. What he made is amazing. Okay, here we go. Enjoy the journey, and we'll talk again later.